We can often face the task of getting a character to influence him with different dynamic forces. For example, explosion, hurricane, weightlessness, gravity. In this case, classically animating a character by creating animation keyframes for all his states would be very long and tedious. Every character animator who has faced this challenge has dreamed of having a tool to easily add physics to a character. The Ragdoll plugin is indispensable in this case. It allows you to complete this task in 5 minutes. In this tutorial, I'm going to take a standard motion capture running animation and mix it with physics. A few words about directing our scene. I want to take the legs from this funny running and make the character waving them funny in flight after the explosion. We can take any source animation, walking, standing, running. A little later, I will even use a swimming. I already have a Ragdoll plugin object created in my scene, with character bones attached to it. Attaching bones to the plugin is very simple and fast. I showed it in the last lesson, so I will not focus on this. After the bones are assigned, I click Create Ragdoll. The Ragdoll plugin created the ragdoll of our character. The Ragdoll plugin detects the correct direction of the provided joints and create dynamic connectors, so that they provide the closest possible behavior of the human body when simulating physics. In any case, we can always correct everything manually. Ragdoll control sliders. Turn off the follow rotation and the bones of the character completely stop. Consider its rotation from the captured animation. Now let's create an explosion. Let's create an emitter of the particles. Set the behavior of the emitter, the speed and distribution of the particles. Let's rotate the emitter and direct the stream of particles directly at our character to give our Deadpool the direction of his movement. Add the rigid body tag to the particles. A very important setting here is the particle mass. The mass of the particles directly affects the force of the impact. If the mass of the stream is low, it will be a fluff blow. The character won't even notice. It is necessary that the mass of the particles be greater than the mass of the body. After the explosion hit our Deadpool lands on the ground, make some residual steps, and I want that on frame 60 him completely die. Directing is up to you. If I want the character in flight has made a wave of his hands, I will disable for his arms the inheritance of motion capture animation. I will leave the animation only on the rest of the body. To do this, I select the necessary bones and press Add Selected. Now all bones pointed in the corresponding field are controlled separately from the rest of the body. In this case, I will leave a 0 force for these bones. Now we got the Deadpool explosion impact. We can stop here. But I want to do something fun. To create a hurricane, we need dynamic forces, wind, turbulence, and rotation. To see the movement of air currents, let's create a particle emitter. The wind force sets the linear motion of an object in space. Turbulence creates swirls. In practice, this means that our character will begin to wave dance with his hands. Rotation modifier creates the spiral-shaped rotation of the objects. The deflector modifier will set the reflection of particles from the floor. Add a vibrate tag to the rotation object and get the inorganic behavior of our whirlwind. If you change the force mode from acceleration to force, the forces will begin to take into account the mass of objects that are affected. And the character's hands, which are lighter, will flow faster. By changing the parameters of dynamic forces, the animation and behavior of the character, the mass of objects, we can quickly achieve different results. Sometimes very unexpected. Tuning it is a real pleasure.